Hello everyone and welcome. Make a cup of your favorite drink and get comfortable because this is a wonderful time for news stories from Yellowcat. Send your own stories in the comments below and maybe they'll be in our new video. What is your best tech support story? I could go on for days about this, but here's a few. A gal called upset that the tech wouldn't come back to set up her internet and cable. I called the field tech who said next to her computer behind the sheet was a wild bobcat. He heard growling and a slam on the cage, the sheet fell off, and the bobcat was trying desperately to claw the pee out of the tech. We called the authorities, she called me back later, peed that we called the police. They fined her, had the animal removed, she wanted us to pay her fine. One lady said she could only get internet while making toast. She said her coax cable internet and TV provider, went into her toaster. When she made toast, the internet would work, and when the toast was done and popped up, the internet went down. I had her describe the cable, and she described it fine and swore up and down for 5 minutes it went into her toaster. She was in her 60s, so I assumed dementia. I also had a lot of people calling in paranoid that the FBI was listening in and wanted us to trace the calls back and confront the FBI. Or even better, come and lock down their Wi-Fi because their neighbor was on their unrestricted router and charge half of the bill to the neighbor. I'd often get calls in for unrelated info. Connect me to the Exxon shareholders line. Ma'am, this isn't the operator. Hit 0 or dial 411 for info. Well, who are you? IT support, ma'am. Well, I need information. As if we were Google on a phone line. I've often had people argue that their TVs or computers did not require electricity to run. It has batteries, it doesn't need electricity. The amazing amount of stupidity I went through each day astounds me. One lady said she couldn't see where her Ethernet cable was going because something bad would happen. Often folks would try and plug in a phone line instead of the Cat5 cable, so I wanted to make sure her lack of internet wasn't due to the cable being loose or not plugged in at all. She argued with me for 10 minutes saying if she looked at it, something bad would happen. We had some lulls with repairs as well. One time, a guy brought in his desktop to be worked on, and the background was some hardcore gay pee. A new guy just started, so we fixed the customer's computer and made the new guy show the customer that everything was working fine on the computer. When the new guy clicked on the start button and looked over to see these two gay guys going at it with a line behind the customer and everyone could see the desktop, he went scarlet. My boss was furious, but we were in the back dying laughing. Years ago, Waco, Texas got hit by a tornado and it effed up the Coca-Cola factory there. We were getting calls in for hours with people going, "When is my internet coming back up?" One guy calls in and demands we get out there and fix his internet. I explained to him there's a tornado in his town and it's caused havoc with all our stuff in the area. He denies it, saying, "There ain't been no tornado in this town, tell me another story, idiot." So I explained to him that there indeed was one and the Coke plant is near destroyed. He says, "It sure ain't, sonny, I live 2 blocks away and I'ma look right now and that, oh yes, it's blown to pieces." "Well, when's my internet coming back up? I want a credit." I love people. One summer, this guy came into the local CompUSA where I worked to have his laptop fixed. He pulled it out of the case and sat it on the counter. The thing was covered in dirt and these little black spots. We asked him what happened and he told us this story. "Well, I spilled a Coke on my keyboard. I thought if I took a hairdryer and blew on the wet keyboard, then the Coke would evaporate. As you can see, it didn't. It left this sticky residue all over everything. I was trying to figure out how to get all of the sugary syrup out of the keyboard. His solution to get the sugary syrup out of the keyboard was to take his laptop outside and set it in an effing ant bed. His rationale was that the ants would crawl into the keyboard and start harvesting the sugar syrup to carry back to their hive. Instead, they all crawled inside and got stuck in the syrup and died. We spent the rest of the day laughing our A's off. Yes, many of these. I started computer work when they were fairly uncommon, so I'm used to basic questions. Often, I'd set up the new machine, explain how you power on different components, and even how a mouse works. But I decided one day to troll our help desk. So, I called from a customer's desk when they were all out at lunch. Me. I need a set of oven mitts for my computer. HD. What? Me. I need a set of oven mitts for my computer. Can you order them and send them up? HD. How? Why do you need oven mitts? Me. Oh, I just burned my first CD and I need them to take it out of the drive. Must be very hot having just been burned. HD. Oh, that's just an expression. It won't be hot. Just eject it and you can take it out. Me. You sure? HD. Absolutely. Me. Okay. Ah! It's burning! My hands are burning! Ah! And I hung up. A half hour later, I walked through the help desk and by the guy who took the call. He tells me about the call. I told him I was just getting ready to send them all an email about a defective shipment of CDRWs we received and how they put a military laser in it by mistake and they were superheating the CDs and melting the tops of the computers. He stared at me for a few seconds, then said, I thought I recognized your voice. Here's my best memory of my years in tech support. This guy calls up and can't log into his webpage. Okay, why not? What error does it show? It just says login invalid and goes back to the login page. Okay, no problem. Give me the URL, username, and password. So I go to the page and log in just fine. Weird, right? Okay, sir, bear with me as I log into the machine. Can you try to log in again while I watch the logs? Okay, there you are, and there's your request, and now I can see you're getting denied access. Weird. What username and password are you using again? Double checks out okay. Then he says, but it's weird, it's not actually hiding my password. What do you mean it's not hiding your password? The form field is showing the characters I'm typing, not stars or bullets like normal. Now I'm really deconfused. Why would it show the characters for a password field? Let me look at the source. I see the input type equals password and things should be kosher. Maybe something is different on his end. So I ask, is there a new browser you're using or something? Has something changed since this worked? Nope, it's the same FF and it's just worked this afternoon before I left the house. Oh, one other thing he says. Also, the login form is different. It's asking for username and P-word. Wait, really? Mine says password. I ask him to hit Control-U and view the source. Can you scroll down to the input line showing the username and password in the source? He gets there and says, yeah, it shows P-word input type equals P-word. That's messed up. Mine for sure says password. I triple confirmed this. How odd. How the H is he getting different code than I am? I can see his hits coming into the Apache log. I can see the network traffic going out to him. Wait, I says, you said it worked before you left. Where did you go? I'm at my son's basketball game. Oh my sweet Jeebus. You were on your laptop on the school's wireless, right? Yeah, why would that matter? I bet they are filtering their internet. Why would you say that? They took the A out of password. These silly public school network admins were directly stripping curse words using a poorly set up proxy server. The customer and I had a good laugh. I told him there was physically nothing I could do to help and passed him on his way. I almost hope that guy is a Redditor now and sees this and we have like a missed connection nerd hookup. And hence ended a 45-minute phone call of confusion and general head scratchery. Good times. I'm a Tier 1 tech support for an online streaming company. One day, I was on the phone with an older lady and was trying to get the broadcast working for her. We finally got the video up, but there was no sound. I had confirmed sound on my end. I went through the basics. Was she muted? No. Could she get sound elsewhere? She answered yes. Finally, I asked her to check the cables to the speaker and make sure they were firmly plugged in. She got real quiet and said, "What's a speaker?" After an inner groan, I explained to her what a speaker was, and then she responded saying, "I don't have a speaker." She had lied to me when she said she was able to get sound earlier. When asked why, she said she wasn't really listening to what I was saying and was just answering what she thought I wanted to hear. I told her to go out and buy some speakers. Towards the end of my time doing tech support, this was in the dial-up days, I used to hit mute and rage at customers. One day, it didn't go as planned. I had been walking a customer through setting up Outlook Express. She was southern, she talked slow, acted slow, and thought slowly before making decisions, so I had been walking her through the setup for over 15 minutes. We were on the last page. Lady: okay, I see a screen that says back, cancel, or finish. Me: click finish, please. 5 seconds of silence goes by. Lady: oh no. Me: what's wrong? Lady: me: what's wrong, ma'am? Lady: I click cancel. Me: hits mute. F! Lady: excuse me? Me: realizing I missed the mute button. I'm so sorry you had to hear that. My coworker spilled his drink in my lap. Lady: totally buys my impromptu excuse. Oh, that's okay. Me: alright, let's start over from the beginning. Woman: so how do I get online? Me: do you see anything on the screen that says internet company name here? That's how you'll connect to the internet. DUN link. Woman yells at the top of her voice: do you see anything about the internet? Me: ma'am, there's no need to yell into the phone. Why are you repeating what I've said? Woman: we don't have a phone in the computer room, so I'm telling my husband what to do from here. Me: I see. Alright, do you see a link from Internet Company on your desktop? The icon looks sort of like 2 computer screens. Woman: there should be a thing on the internet on the desk. Man in the distance: I don't see anything on the desk. Woman: he doesn't see anything on the desk. Me: right, I can hear him, but that's not quite what I said. I said, woman: that's not what he said. Man in the distance: that's what you said. Woman: that's what you said. Man in the distance: I found something that looks like computers. Clicking sound on the line: beep beep boop beep deep boop deep. Me: are you talking on the same phone your computer is plugged into? Woman: no, the computer is in another room. Me: but it's the same phone number, right? Woman acts incredulous I'd even ask. Of course. Facepalm as I realize this is going to be a really long night. I used to work on tech support for an ISP. Guy calls in with no connection, so I go through all the normal troubleshooting to no avail and tell him I'm about to send a tech to him. Guy: my modem is smoking. Could this be why I can't get online? Me: yes. I recommend you unplug it from the power as it could be a fire hazard. Guy: could this be because my dog peed on it? Oh, and another time I was resetting a user's password to something random with the number 0 in it. I was telling it to her, and when I got to the 0, she said, is that the letter 0 or the number 0? I have a few stories, but my best by far is one my Cisco instructor told me. He fixes home PCs on the side. Most of what he does is cleanup and virus/malware removal. He cleaned up a regular customer's new PC which was full of malware. He said it actually took him a few hours and several runs using different anti-malware programs. He told the guy afterwards that the problem was he had no antivirus and he needed to make sure he bought some so his computer didn't end up like this again. 2 or 3 months later, customer calls back and tells him that his computer is running really slowly again and he thinks it's infected. So again, he mentions the antivirus to the customer who insists he already bought it. Later, he goes over to clean the PC and while he's in there, he can't find any antivirus program. So he says to the customer, I thought you had bought an antivirus program for your computer. The customer responds by picking up McAfee still in its box in plastic sitting next to the computer. The customer was convinced that sitting there it would protect the computer. My instructor used this to point out that one should never underestimate the level of human stupidity. Idiots. Thank you for watching. Guys, thank you for all of the support and likes. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. See you next time.